Hello and welcome back. I'm Christina, your go-to spooky queen, and today we are talking about all the horror movies that I watched in 2024. We are going to be ranking them from the worst to the best, in my opinion, of course. Please keep in mind this is my opinion, so your list is probably going to look a lot different than mine, and that is okay. Horror is subjective, so things that I might like, you might not like, things I don't like, maybe you do like. This is going to be broken into two parts because I did watch quite a bit of horror movies / horror adjacent movies that came out in 2024, so we will be breaking it up into two parts. In total of 2024 movies that I have watched 122 movies that came out in 2024. And by came out in 2024, I mean they had a US release date in 2024. If they premiered at movie premieres last year, I don't consider that a 2023 release. If they had a release date in the US where they came out either streaming or theater, then they are 2024. Not everyone has access to film festivals, so I don't think it's fair to base it off the festival date. So I have watched 122 films, and of those 122 films, 83 of those are horror / horror adjacent, because some of them on that list are not labeled horror in the genre, but I do think they have horror elements to it, so I did include them in the list. This was the most movies that I have definitely watched this year, but I did also start my horror social media pages this year, so that tends to be why. So since we watched 83 from this part will be numbers 83 to 41, and then the next part will be 41 to 1. And if you want to see any of these that have a more in-depth review, check out my TikTok or check out my shorts. There's a good chance I possibly have already reviewed the movie on that page, so definitely go check those out. If there's not a review for them, then it is saved in my drafts and it just hasn't been posted yet, but they will be posted eventually. And if you want to keep up with all the movies I've seen that are not horror, you can go to my Letterboxd. I have all the movies logged in that I've watched, horror, non-horror, because I like other things too. I like Disney, like a little bit of comedy. But without further ado, let's jump into the ranking. I will try to keep this as short as I can, but we are talking about 83 movies here, so try to keep it as short as possible. At number 83, the movie that did not work for me in 2024 is Horny Teenagers Must Die. I believe this is a Tubi original. I watched it because I saw it was like a slasher, and slashers tend to be the most easy watch for me. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm gonna just put it on. It was rough. The acting was rough. The filming of it was rough. I remember not really loving the cinematography of it. The acting. But yeah, teenagers having too much fun in the woods, and while they're doing the dirty, they're also getting. I personally don't recommend. If you've seen it and you liked it, that is great. I'm so glad it worked for you. Unfortunately, it did not work for me. 82, I have Bad Nun 3. This was also a TV original, I believe, and I've not seen Bad Nun 1 or Bad Nun 2, but I threw on Bad Nun 3 for whatever reason, and from what I remember, nothing happened. At number 81, which I think is kind of a hot take, I have a movie called Monolith, and this one just didn't work for me in my favor. Unfortunately, I was not a fan of the heavy dialogue. It's just a one setting, one girl, she is doing a podcast, and I just couldn't get into it. I know a lot of people actually liked it and have it pretty high up on their list. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. At number 80, I have Alice in Terrorland. Yes, an horror Alice in Wonderland movie, but unfortunately I would describe it as a fairy tale disaster. The thing I remember the most is it was super dark and it was hard to make out what things were, and there really was no storyline to it. You're just gonna have the characters from Alice in Wonderland thrown into this forest, and there's like some supernatural force happening. I really don't remember it that much, but I just know it didn't work for me. At number 79, I have Cell Phone. This one was another one that there wasn't really much happening. It even didn't get that high. There really was no reason, you don't know why whatever her cell phone was doing was whatever was happening to it. There was no explanation as to why. I watched it very early in the year, so I'm also trying to remember what really happened, but nothing is what happens. So again, it's not one that I really recommend, but if you happen to like it, all power to you. I wish it worked for me, but it didn't. At number 78, I have Mousetrap. Once Mickey became a public domain, I think this was the first movie that came out. And it was awful. I wish I could give it some positives there, but unfortunately, Mickey was weird. He could teleport, and you didn't really see any kills, and the acting was really, really rough. Usually, I can find some fun when watching those kind of movies because I know not to go in it with high expectations. I know it's a Mickey Mouse horror movie, so you can't take it that serious, but it was even something like fun that I had watching. People put their hard work into it, and I know I probably couldn't do a movie better than that, so of course I give credit where credit's due, but I wouldn't sit through the movie again. At number 77, I have The Front Room. The only good thing about this one was Brandy did really good in her role. Catherine Hunter did an amazing job in her role too with this one, but the movie was just gross, like without needing to be gross, and there wasn't really no horror to it. I slept on that one for a while because of the bad reviews, and then I finally checked it out before 2024 ended, and I really could have just skipped it and been fine. At number 76, I have History of Evil. I was actually excited for this one because Paul Wesley's in it. I love Paul Wesley so much. And yeah, it didn't fall where I thought it was going to fall. If you saw Paul Wesley was in this and it sparked your interest and you want to watch it, by all means watch it. At number 75, I have Punch. When it came to Punch, I could not get past the guy's voice and laughter. Oh my goodness. There was one kill though that I do remember actually being pretty decent and I liked it, but that was the only kill. There really was no other kills that sparked my interest in that one. So at number 74, I have Something in the Water. This is a shark movie that you hardly ever see the shark. And while I get maybe you wanted to add suspense or something, there was a lot of just floating around and nothing really happening with this one. I usually love like movies where it's like the girl's going on a trip because it was a girl's trip. It was her bachelorette, I believe. I usually love movies like that, but the shark really didn't do much in this movie. He was not the main character. At number 73, I have Night Swim. This was a Blumhouse movie that came out in January of 2024. It was like one of the first horror movies that came out, and this is when Blumhouse started to let us down, unfortunately, with their movies. At number 72, this one is going to probably be an unpopular opinion, but I have Stop Motion. Again, I know a lot of people actually really liked this one, and unfortunately it did not work for me. But I love the idea of it. I actually really liked the animation and the stop motionness of this movie. That was really cool. Unfortunately, the story itself, though, did not work with me. Kind of want to watch it again, though, just to give it a second chance, because a lot of people really liked it and they have it super high on their list, and I have it fairly down low. I feel like maybe it belongs more in the middle. From what I remember, I wasn't a big fan of it, but I liked the concept and the idea. At number 71, I have Tim. This is one of the many AI movies that I watched in 2024, and I think we should stop doing AI movies. You will probably hear me say that each time I talk about one of the AI movies, but Tim is just your typical AI movie. Nothing different. At number 70, we have another AI movie, and this one was Afraid, and this was the other Blumhouse letdown. This one they try to be different, but it's still your basic AI. This is literally Smart House, but make it horror. At number 69, I have Amp House Massacre. This one is like an influencer hype house type of movie. I didn't like fully hate it, but I do remember the kills not really being seen that much. I think there was a little twist at the end that was kind of predictable, but overall it was an easy slasher to watch if you just want to like throw on something while you're washing dishes or doing laundry. That's a good one. At number 68 is the other Blumhouse movie that let us down, Imaginary. This one I didn't really go in with any expectations and I was still let down, unfortunately. The inside of the Imaginary, I really liked the cinematography of that, but I feel like they could have done so much more with it and they just didn't. It kind of fell flat. Yeah. At number 67, I have Sting, which was like a spider horror movie that came out. It was okay. It was decent. Kind of your typical spider horror movie. Not really too much like harsh things I could say about it, but not really too many positives either. It's just kind of there. At number 66, I have Another Cabin in the Woods movie. This is by Terror Films. It came out, I think, in like November, December, like towards the end there. It was entertaining. It was fun. The acting is a little hit or miss there. It's very horror comedy standard movie. As you could tell, the category that we're kind of getting into now are more like movies that are fun that you don't really go in like with a lot of expectations to, but they're not a total letdown. Number 65, I have My Bloody Galentine. This is, I believe, a Tubi original. It's a lot of fun. This one is for the girlies to have a little Galentine's Day night, have some wine, have like your little living room decorated with Valentine stuff, and throw on this movie, and I think you guys will have so much fun. At number 64, I have The Deliverance. The Deliverance was not delivering for me. I was really excited for this one. The cast is stacked. Unfortunately, I think this just would have done a better job as a drama, but they said, let's sprinkle some horror elements from The Exorcist, and it's gonna be great. And no, it's not. At number 63, I have Killer Body Count. This one, I just wish they were not teenagers. I felt meh, very, ugh. But again, one of those, it's just fun to throw on, easy to watch type of thing. You don't really go in with such high expectations. At number 62, I have Haunt Season. This is one of those like haunt attraction movies where it's like a haunted house or haunted attraction, I guess. It's a lot of fun. It's not high up there with like Haunt or Hellfest. I don't have it, wouldn't say it like reaches that, but it was a fun time. At number 61, I have Stranger in the Woods. This one has a twist that I did call, but it took a minute for me to call it, but I did call it. Wasn't the worst movie, wasn't the best movie. It's just kind of there, but it's another easy watch that you could just throw on, have it as background noise. So. At number 60, I have No Way Up, and I actually like this one. Is it unrealistic? Yes, that's why it's at 60, because it's very unrealistic. Very unrealistic shark movie, but it was surprisingly pretty good. And it did have me kind of like a little bit suspenseful, like, ooh, what's gonna happen type of thing. At number 59, I have Time Cut. The thing that I liked about this the most was the 2000s vibe that we got from it, but if you have to choose between watching Totally Killer or Time Cut, you are better off watching Totally Killer. This one you hardly really see any kills. I think they focus more on the sister dynamic of this and that kind of story rather than the horror parts of it. At number 58, I have All You Need Is Blood. This is a independent movie, zombie movie that I had so much fun with. I know it's not for everyone, and it is a very low budget, but with what they done, I think they did it very well, and I had so much fun with it. At number 57, I have Pray for the Bride. I believe this was another Tubi original. Watched a lot of Tubi movies. Thanks, Tubi, for always keeping us entertained with your movies. This one was fun. They were getting ready on a bachelorette trip, as you guys know. Like I said, I love those kind of movies. There was a little twist actually in this one now that I'm remembering, and I actually kind of liked it. This one, I say, watch it. Maybe do it during your Galentine's Day night. After you watch My Bloody Galentine, watch this one. Throw it on. At number 56, I have hashtag AMFAD. All My Friends Are Dead. This one, it was cool. I liked it. Again, it's just not one that really stands out, but it's in there. The kills were pretty interesting because they did it based off the 7 deadly sins. At number 55, I have Devon. Devon was J. Rao's movie that she directed and wrote, and I actually really liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like this one. Yes, there are some very dark moments. That's hard to tell, but I think for her first movie, I personally liked it, and I welcome her full arms into the horror community, and I hope she continues making movies. I want to see how much she grows and develops. You could tell it's very like Blair Witch inspired type of movie, and there's a little like twist to this one too that I was kind of like, okay, interesting little spin you did there. At number 54, I have VHS Beyond. This one is, I think, the first VHS movie I watched. I might have watched the original VHS, but I honestly do not remember it, so I count this as the first one I watched. And I'm not really a sci-fi girly, but I actually enjoyed most of the segments on this one. And I love that Kate Siegel and Mike Flanagan had a little hand in this installment. So that also kind of caught my eye to give this one a watch. At number 53, I have Trap. I feel like I watched it kind of late. I watched it at home when it came out to rent or buy. I didn't watch it in theaters. I feel like people went in with high expectations for it because M. Night Shyamalan, obviously. And then obviously it was a letdown for a lot of people. Based off it being a letdown, I kind of went in with super low expectations instead of those high expectations. And I actually wasn't that mad about it. Is that because I saw all the bad reviews, so I went in with very low expectations? Probably. Maybe if I went in with the high expectations I originally had, maybe I would have been let down, but I was not. At number 52, I have Baghead. This is the movie that a lot of people really talk to me to. There's definitely some similarities when it comes to this one, but overall, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. It's not as good as Talk to Me by any means. And similarities, but it does have its own spin to it. At number 51, I saw the TV Glow. This one is just so beautiful to look at. I do want to rewatch it again because I was really tired when we put this movie on, and I remember falling asleep, like dozing off a lot. Beautiful to look at, and it's just like kind of right there in the middle for me. At number 50, I have Last Straw. Very different twist to the home invasion, the diner invasion instead, but very different little spin to that home invasion type of category. At number 49, I have Double Blind. This one is a little bit different from other like horror movies that I watched. It's more about the sleep experiment. I like experimental movies, things like that. So this one was very entertaining. I personally enjoyed it. At number 48, I have Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. So crazy how much these guys have went from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. In Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1, I have it like in the bottom. I want to say it's like the bottom 3. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, look, it's at number 48 on my list now out of 83 films. It spiked so high up, and it made me so excited for Poohniverse. I'm so excited. The Peter Pan movie's coming out so soon, and I'm planning on going to theaters to see it. The only one with this one was it still had some lighting issues where you couldn't really make out what was happening, and I really wish you could make them out because I wanted to see the goriness and the kills and stuff, and like the lighting was too dark sometimes to see those. Overall, great improvement that those guys did, and I cannot wait to see where this universe goes. At number 47, I have Under Paris. This was another shark movie. Again, kind of your typical shark movie, but it was entertaining. It was definitely one of the better shark movies that I watched in 2024. So, and at number 46, I have Alien Romulus. Now, I am someone that is not a big Alien franchise fan. I think I watched Alien vs. Predator, but I liked Alien Romulus. Liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I see why the franchise has such a big fan base. Unfortunately, I'm just not a sci-fi horror movie girly. At number 45, I have Bloodline Killer. I believe this was another Tubi original. I actually really enjoyed it. It took place during Halloween, so it was a great Halloween little watch. Again, I would recommend it if you just want something easy to throw on. At number 44, I have In a Violent Nature. This one, I know a lot of people are not a big fan of the concept or the idea. I am one of the people that am a big fan of the concept and the idea. And we, of course, have one kill scene in here that is super memorable that I feel like it's going to be ranked very highly, and like if people are doing their top kill scenes in 2024, there is a kill scene in here that I feel like would be in a lot of people's top 10. I know it's in my top 10. Violent Nature, I liked it. I thought it worked for me. If it didn't work out for you, that's okay. At number 43, I have Glowsies. This is a very fun, family-friendly horror movie to throw on with the family. I think it's fun for all ages. Get a lot of green goo instead of like blood and stuff like that. So you have kids, or you're getting into horror, this one's a good one to check out. At number 42, I have Y2K. This is just a very nostalgic movie for those that grew up in the 2000s. For me, I was turning 4 years old when it was 1999 going into the 2000s. So obviously I don't remember that time. I grew up in the 2000s going to school and stuff. So it was fun. I did get some of the references. And the last movie that we're going to talk about in this part, at number 41, I have Night Bitch. This one is definitely a comedy drama with a little bit of body horror to it. Not a lot of horror, but there's a little bit of body horror in there. Mainly focuses more on motherhood, focuses on comedy, but I liked it. I thought it had a very powerful message. If you're looking for like horror, you're not gonna get it with this movie, but this is definitely a fun movie. Those are my movies from 83 to 41. Make sure you tune into the next part because we are going to be talking about movies number 40 to 1. This is where the movies are starting to get better for me. So if you enjoyed this, definitely go check out part 2 because this is where we're going to get into some of the good stuff. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure to hit the bell so you get notified when I drop part 2. It should be coming in the next day or two. I will see you guys next time. Bye!